Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Media Boat Podcast, your weekly edition where we talk about movies, TV, music, and video games. My name is Mike. His name is Matt.
My name is Matt. His name is Mike. Not necessarily in that order. We should mention that. Those things, but
Yes,
mixed around a little bit. Yes, welcome to the Media Boat Podcast. Today is September the 17th, 2024. This is episode 453, and we have a lot to talk about.
yes. We have a lot of new listeners too, as we had 1,000 downloads in the past week.
What? Why?
Sorry, 1,000 downloads in the previous 14 days.
So 2 weeks.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know.
Somebody has found our stream and be like, yes, add RSS feed.
Sure, I don't know what we did, but hey, thanks for joining.
I know what we did. We hit 140 episodes, so now the streams start coming in on a regular basis.
We had 140 episodes a long time ago. Do you mean 440?
Yeah, that's what I said. 450 episodes.
Here we go. Now you're up to date. You just time traveled like 5 years in the past just now.
Exactly. That's how long we've been doing this. Almost 10 years. So, if anything, it's because we've been consistent. So let's keep with the consistency as we get
Yes.
into the episode, starting with the music section. Start the music section with the Billboard, and start the Billboard with the Hot 100. And the hottest song in the land is still a bar song, Tipsy by Shabuzi. Coming in at 2, I Had Some Help by Post Malone, featuring Morgan Wallen. Coming in at 3, Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter. At 4, Die with a Smile by Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga, which is not a pop song, but a country song.
I think that's a
Country pop.
stretch.
And then rounding out your top 5, Birds of a Feather by, yes, Billie Eilish.
Yeah, kind of a boring week on the charts this week. All that happened is the Bruno Mars Lady Gaga song and the Billie Eilish song basically scooted out the other two Sabrina Carpenter tracks that were on there. Otherwise, there were no changes. And speaking of no changes,
Let's get to the Billboard 200, the albums chart, where all of this will sound familiar if you listened to last week, because at
yeah.
number 1 is Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter. At 2, F1 Trillion by Post Malone. Coming in at 3, The Rise and Fall of the Midwest Princess by Chappell Roan. Coming in at 4, One Thing at a Time by Morgan Wallen. And then rounding out your top 5 is The Tortured Poets Department by Taylor Swift.
Yeah, so the only notable thing about this, because it's a repeat of last week, is the 3 weeks at number one for Sabrina Carpenter make her in second place for women artists by female artists albums behind Taylor Swift's lead this year. So for number one albums. So
See, it's
just a
easy to
minor
say
note.
she's in second place, but
Yeah.
in order to get to first place, you gotta
Yeah, there's a
go.
lot of catch up
Yes.
to do to get to Taylor's number. Yes.
It's like saying, like, yeah, sure, the Diamondbacks are in second place to the Dodgers, but there's still like 10 games between them.
Yeah, you don't need to know what the math is there.
Yeah,
Just
you're
accept
in
that
second
it's true.
place. That's it. Second place sounds good.
Yeah.
If you didn't like any of those albums, we have new releases, starting with 5 Dice. And they're all threes
Yeah.
by Bright Eyes.
Hey, it's still Yahtzee.
Technically, yes, because five
Yeah,
dice is
five
the same
die
kind.
if five dies and they're all threes, that's Yahtzee. You can mark
Yeah,
that down in the Yahtzee section.
yeah, that's 50 points,
Or
not
put it to your
15.
threes if you're really desperate for your threes. I don't know.
Well, it's an automatic 50 points. You
Who
do
am I to
it.
tell someone how to play Yahtzee? What if they want the really good three?
Or you have to already put a 0 in your Yahtzee because you bumped on a different roll, previous roll.
Or if you're really weird, you put it in your chance.
Well, that'd be because you already rolled 4 3s
No,
and
you
already
put
got
it
those
in your
12 points.
Yahtzee because you can put unlimited Yahtzees. You can't do that in the other two sections.
Yes, but you can't have unlimited Yahtzees if you already put a 0 in your Yahtzee.
All right, we have to stop talking about Yahtzee strategy.
That's right, because we got to talk about Surviving the Dream by Fiddler.
Hmm.
There's also Mixtape Pluto by Future. Yes,
Yeah,
that Future. A mixtape?
I don't know what that is. I'm assuming by the name that it is, but hmm.
Okay. We also have A Modern Day Distraction by Jake Bug. In Ways by Jamie 20.
I believe it's Jamie XX. Jamie 20.
Okay. Jamie XX.
There you go.
There's also Lemons, Limes, and Orchids by Jane as Policewoman. Um, Like All Before You by The Voids. Radios and Rainbows by Kate Pearson. Not the character from This Is Us, who's also named Kate Pearson. That's a PEA arson, not PIE arson. We also have Someday Now by Katie J. Pearson, not to be confused by Kate Pearson,
Yeah,
who's doing
confusing.
Radios and Rainbows in the same weekend. Also, not to be confused, is 143 by Katy Perry.
Yeah,
I
three
think they did
different
this on
people.
purpose.
I don't know if they did. Alphabetical order.
No, I feel like you made me say all these people on purpose.
No, I swear. I write them as they see them. I don't know.
All right, 143, is that the I love you code?
I don't know. I don't know why this record is called 143. All I know is
Because
that
I
Katy
is
Perry
one
is
letter,
not,
love is 4 letters, you is 3 letters. The I love you
maybe.
album.
I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, that's like the secret message when you're texting is you text someone 143, it means I love you.
Okay, well, I'll take it for you. Like I said, I didn't know. I didn't know that it had any sort of symbolic meaning.
Was I part of the in crowd?
Maybe so. Maybe. Or maybe this
Maybe.
is just something really old that you know about.
Katy Perry is someone really old that we do know about.
She's not really old.
She got a Lifetime Achievement Award. That is old.
She's like a few years
Well,
older than us.
okay, it's not a Lifetime Achievement, it's the Vanguard Award, but same difference. All right. We also have Hi. That's with a GH in all
Oh,
caps.
hi.
Yes. Sorry. Hi
There you go.
by Keith Urban.
Yeah.
Yes, that Keith Urban.
Keith
There's
Urban.
also Seven by Nelly Furtado. Yes, that Nelly
That Nelly
Furtado is out
Furtado.
with an album.
Yeah.
Sink Your Teeth by Neon Trees. Yes, those
That
neon
Neon
trees.
Trees.
We also have Always Happy to Explode by Sunset Rubdown. I love this because you can also make reverse it where it's Sunset Rubdown by Always Happy to Explode.
But no.
And lastly, Flow Critical Lucidity by Thurston Moore of the Moors.
No.
I believe he is of the Moors.
What are you talking about?
Talking about Moore.
Thurston Moore was a member of Sonic Youth.
And this is more of that.
Anyways,
Yeah, it's
those are your
just
new
more of
releases.
that band, Sonic Youth.
Sure. Those are your new releases. Let's move on to
Let's get into music news. And we got so much to talk
yes.
about. We got lots of bits for you. Music bits.
Yes, bits.
Yes, but they're like chunky bits.
The
So
chunky bits. Yeah, like a chunky soup. Campbell's chunky. We got a football player's mom to come tell you how good this soup is.
except for that one time it was Sean McVay.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We have speaking of chunky, Mr. Sean Diddy Combs.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, officially charged with sex trafficking, racketeering, and transporting for prostitution. And because of this, he has indeed been arrested.
So yeah, he's done. He's cooked. It's in the books. They took him away.
He
Stuff is
has
coming out.
pled not guilty,
Sure, but
but they've also denied him bail. So
yeah, they denied him bail. They're holding him. So yeah, a lot of stuff about this has come out. Details about what exactly was going on in Diddy's compound has started to leak. If you care, it's out there if you want to know. But from what I can tell, it's pretty gross and disturbing stuff. So maybe if you don't want to know, don't do too much research. But it's out there.
I mean, at the bare minimum, know that he's
Yeah.
probably going to be guilty on all of this.
Yeah, it's pretty damning.
Allegedly.
It's pretty damning evidence. Yeah,
I mean, we have to say allegedly,
we have
but
to say allegedly, but it seems like that he was responsible for a lot of creepy stuff, and it just gets worse and worse and worse the more you get into it.
yeah. Speaking of things that get worse and worse the more you get into it, Miley Cyrus.
Ooh, ouch, that hurts.
Well, it's
Don't
going
be
to hurt
mean to
more like
Miley. She's
I mean,
just
it's going to
being
hurt you more
Miley.
because, yeah, but she's being sued.
That's true.
Yes, by Tempo Music Investments. So
Yeah.
caution, this is like going everywhere now. It's not Bruno Mars that is suing Miley
Hmm.
Cyrus for the similarities between her song "Flowers" and his song "When I Was Your Man."
Right.
This is the music Tempo Music Investments. The people
Yes.
who own "When I Was Your Man" are suing Miley Cyrus over the similarities between "Flowers" and "When I Was Your Man."
So yeah, we cover a lot of music lawsuits
Legalese. Yeah, we do.
here. And this is another one. But yes, this makes this situation unique. It's not the artists or the artist representation, it's the song owners, which is separate from Bruno Mars's camp. They're alleging that portions of Flowers sound like portions of When I Was Your Man. I personally don't hear it. But as we've seen these cases go, it'll go to court. We'll see what a jury thinks. I think that they don't have a case.
Well, since it's songwriting, it's about like what was written in the
Hmm.
choruses. And honestly, I've seen these someone like put it up side by side. Flowers is really a answer song too when I was your man.
Yeah,
As
but
if these
answer
people have never
songs
heard of
are
answer
not.
songs.
You have an answer. One, I think that's a bit of a stretch. I don't see it as an answer song.
Oh,
And
put the
two,
choruses up together. You'll see it.
even if it is, I don't think that there's much similarity.
I don't think so either, but that is for the courts to decide. And it's gonna be funny when I'm calling my shot right now. They bring up a bunch of song and answer songs to the courtroom and saying, "Oh, is this allegedly be sued? Should this be sued? Should this be sued?"
We'll see.
It's gonna be funny. And then this whole like group of people are gonna be exposed to what answer songs are.
Yeah.
Just be like, "Oh, Wikipedia's gonna get flooded again."
It's a good Wikipedia article. The
It
one
really
for answer
is.
songs. It's good. Anyways.
Speaking of a good Wikipedia article, there was a fight that happened in
Yeah.
Jane's Addiction
Yeah.
on stage in front of people live. And because of this, Perry Farrell had to apologize to Dave Navarro and the rest of Jane Addiction's bandmates for quote unquote inexcusable behavior.
Yeah, and it looks like this is ultimately going to end their tour, due to whatever altercation occurred. Yeah, seems like there's irreconcilable differences between them, and they can't keep touring like that.
I mean, for some people, it's fun to watch. If they just take I would say they should take this act on the road,
Mm,
but I guess
they
they
are,
shouldn't.
but they're not
Yeah, yeah, that's where
anymore.
this took place though.
I
So
mean, yeah. I mean,
maybe
ultimately,
not.
we're probably gonna see less and less of this as this generation of bands will stop touring. But yeah, kind of, if you have like a '90s era, '80s, '90s era band like this, they're still at it. Chances are they hate each other's guts at this point, and sometimes it goes up to the stage. I also saw a similar story that I didn't include about an even older band, REO Speedwagon, also ending their tour, saying that there's members with irreconcilable differences. I'm like, wow, this is going around. So yeah, if you're in a band for over 30 years, maybe get some, I don't know, some counseling. Like, is there couples counseling for bands? Maybe there should be.
Maybe. I mean, maybe like family counseling.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of someone who needs family counseling, Donald Trump is in the news. She's about to do a spit take there, weren't you?
Yeah, a little bit close.
Well, he is raged against none other than the machine herself, Taylor
Yes.
Swift, after she endorsed Kamala Harris following the uh Demo that's not Democratic. Following the
The
presidential
presidential debate.
debate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last week. Well, Trump had 4 words in response to that. I hate Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I guess this was
Exclamation point.
so this was posted to his profile on Truth Social, the very real website that he runs that is basically just a platform for his tweets.
It's a
And
blog at this
yeah,
point, yes.
yeah, people took screenshots of it, shared in other social media platforms. I don't know. This seems like a little bit of a baby move. This seems like a tantrum to me. It
Are you
has
saying
no
it's not
actual,
presidential of him to attack
not
a
really,
music
no.
artist?
Especially just a few days after, speaking of X, the guy who runs it and owns it, Elon Musk, tweeting something also pretty creepy towards Taylor. Been a rough week for Taylor on the social media. Let's just say that. But yeah, this is just silly. The only reason why I'm including here is because it here in the news is because Taylor Swift is a musician. But yeah, a very influential one. And as soon as she put out that endorsement, this was bound to happen. Donald Trump is a very sensitive individual who likes to speak out against anyone who says anything bad about him ever. And so this is just the latest in a series of these things happening. Not super surprising, but man, just have some like tact or some explanation of why, not just I hate this person. Like, come on, man. You're an adult. You can
Be
use your
creative?
words. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Just seems weird.
Maybe if we take this approach and get Donald Trump to tweet out, I hate Media Boat podcast,
Oh, yeah,
then it
yeah,
would
yeah.
just drive attention to, well, what is this then?
I mean, if he did listen to us, he probably would hate us, which
I
to
don't know,
me
because
is a victory.
I don't know if he would, essentially, just because we too like to talk and ramble and enjoy spreading the news.
Did you see Taylor accept one of her VMAs on
I
last
did not
at
watch
the
the
VMA?
VMAs.
Well, she
I was
also
busy
loves to
doing something
talk.
else.
She loves to talk, let me tell you. So she is
Well, yes, I
also
saw her
a
when
big
she
talker.
accepted her Grammys, in
Yeah.
which she loves to talk and then announced a new album.
Yeah, turns out there's also something she likes. But anyway, yeah, the less we talk about it, the better. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that was in the news this week. It seems like a really stupid thing to say when you have such a influential person that could easily sway people's votes. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, she did endorse Kamala Harris, who is Brat, by the way.
Yeah, according to Charlie.
Well,
Yeah,
according to Charlie, Brat is over and also not over,
right.
as she's announced that she's announced Brat, capital B this time,
Uh-huh.
and it's a completely different, but also still Brat, lowercase b.
I don't actually know if the first B is uppercase. It's just that this is the way that this was quoted. I bet it would probably still be a lowercase b on the album cover.
Well, it's a remix album of
Yeah,
Brat
it's
coming next month.
yeah, October 11th will be the release date for this. This will include the already released remixes of some of the songs, including the Billie Eilish one, the one that just released this week with Troye Sivan and Dua Lipa, as well as some that we don't even know about yet. So it's an exciting idea that there's new Brat remixes to come. And yeah, we're just a few weeks away.
All right. What's the over under on a remix with Kamala Harris on it?
Absolutely not going to happen.
Really? You want to put plus 10,000 on it?
No, I do not want to put anybody on that.
All right. Well, we got some thoughts about stuff that we watched, we saw, and we listened to. So let's go from the middle out here. and talk about the MTV VMA since we just teed it
Yeah,
off with Taylor
that
Swift.
that'll be the one that will take the least amount of time. So we'll just blaze through this real quick. The
Mhm.
VMAs happened, as you mentioned. Katy Perry accepted the Video Vanguard Award. She did a medley of her hits, and then said a big speech about, I don't know, blocking out the noise or something stupid. I don't know. I was barely paying attention to that.
You were blocking out the
Um,
noise.
yeah, I was blocking out her noise. Turns out. Yeah, the rest of the night was fine. Some of the performances were memorable. Chapel Roan, especially, did Good Luck Babe dressed as a knight in shining armor. At one point at the beginning, she shot a crossbow, a lit flaming arrow from a crossbow, which was pretty awesome. That was probably the highlight of the night. Other performances are pretty
She
good.
she shot it into the crowd.
No, 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 no.
Uh-oh.
Into a
On the
castle and
stage.
set a castle on the stage on fire, and a bunch of other
Oh,
knights danced with her. It was a whole thing. You had to see it. But yeah, other than that, yeah, a handful of memorable performances. Halsey did her new song "Ego" from a 2000s garage. Christy joked like, "Wow, she's performing inside the American Football House." That's for like 15 of you out there. What else do we got?
I mean, to be fair, didn't Olivia Rodrigo perform just outside a
She was
garage?
on the roof, right? Or on the roof of a
Yes.
house or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
She did something similar last year. Other than that, award wise, the only notable thing that comes out of that is that Taylor Swift now has the record, beating Beyonce, for the most solo VMA wins. So the VMAs have a new queen. As for the big
Well,
awards,
I mean,
video of the year
Beyonce
went to,
has the Grammy record.
yeah,
Taylor Swift has the VMA record. They both
makes
have
sense.
records. Yeah.
Right, you can share. The biggest award winners, Song of the Year went to Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter. Video of the Year was Fortnite by Taylor Swift and Post Malone. And Best New Artist was Chapel Roan. So yeah, winners across the board.
Pretty much by the notes as you expected.
Yeah, it was
Unlike
not
some award shows.
right. Yeah, we'll get there later. But yeah, otherwise not a super notable VMAs, just another kind of run of the mill VMAs. It did its job. There were some decent performances. It was okay.
All right. So since I didn't watch it, and nothing else was notable, let's go to the other live performance before we get to the album
Yes.
that we listened to.
Yeah.
All right. So last week
Yeah.
we had a big music announcement that Linkin Park had reunited with a new lead singer, Emily Armstrong, and from the band, and that Thursday, last Thursday, they were had a live stream, or sorry, the previous Thursday they had a live stream and announced a concert and a world tour the following Wednesday. We happened to record last Tuesday before the show,
Mhm.
and we said like, oh, they have a show in LA. Tickets are super expensive. We ended up going.
Not expensive enough, turns out. Yeah.
uh, we found some tickets like after the show for like $100. Be like, yeah, that's good enough to go on a last second like concert.
So yeah, we were there in LA at the Kia Forum on the 11th, last Wednesday. And yeah, we saw Linkin Park, the new reformed Linkin Park. As you would say, they played the hits.
Yeah, they did. I had a blast. I had a fun time. They played the
Yeah.
hits. I think that whatever kinks they worked out between the live stream and Wednesday show smoothed it all out. It was
Yeah.
fun. There was one huge glaring incident though, where there was a mic check. Uh, Mike Shinoda just running into the mic stand, not knowing where he is on stage.
I mean, he
Uh,
was trying to be slick and throw his hat into the audience, and then he didn't look.
yeah, and then he didn't look where he was going and got almost clotheslined behind the mic stand.
I mean, he's new. Like it's been a while since they've been on a tour. Like, give him a break.
Well, yeah,
Um,
but they also had like six different mic stands held up, like because they were in the center, so they had to like
yeah.
move all the way around. Um,
But yeah, I think that overall it delivered. They played
mhm,
the songs that you would expect them to play, pretty much every single hit, and even some deep cuts that you were pretty surprised to hear.
yep,
They played the new single off of the upcoming record, which also seems
sounded
really,
good
really good
live.
live. And yeah, Emily Armstrong worked through the controversy on the internet and just went out there and performed. They didn't dwell on it. They didn't address it really. They just kind of just did their thing. I think the only time they really went into the process of her selection was when she got to talk a little bit about it and said, like, yeah, that it's been about a year since she was kind of joined the team and started learning the songs and stuff. So
Mhm.
gave kind of a little bit of context for how much she's practiced with these guys already and how much of a unit they are. And you can tell they work really well. They have a chemistry. They have a functioning like
A
setup at this
good
point.
flow
And
between the songs too.
yeah, oh yeah, and yeah, the
As you said, a lot of
actual
it, like a lot of like old songs,
yeah,
deep cuts, new songs, the hits. Like you were never bored with the show. I mean,
yeah,
we were like sitting up like kind of in the rafters, but even still
yeah. Even
standing pretty much the
still,
entire
yeah,
time.
right. It was yeah, it was a really well presented show. Really cool stage effects and lighting effects, and sound was fine. Like I didn't have any problems with the sound. And yeah, like yeah, a pretty seamless show.
Yeah. I think that they picked well. I mean, we only get to see them for the 3 hours or whatever, like live, and then like the 1 hour for the live stream. Like that's what we get to see them interact with, like on stage in the live event.
Right.
And as you mentioned, like they've been at this for over a year. So when you pick someone that's only gonna be your lead singer, but to go on a tour, you gotta pick someone you're gonna be around a lot. And it seems like that they took all of that into account, that they're going to be around this person a lot. They're going to be influencing the band a lot. And they mesh really, really well. There are a couple songs there that basically just won the crowd over and put like any
Yeah.
doubts they had to like to rest.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think they did mission accomplished largely. And this
Yes.
is largely what I saw. I think it was the Variety article about it or something. Like the headline was just like, yeah, they did what they needed to do. They got out there and they just did the show and the fans loved it and
Responded.
boom. So yeah, the rest of this tour is probably going to be like that. And it's going to be a good reminder to a lot of people of why people of this generation care so much about Linkin Park. Like I'm somebody who's not a fan of the band, generally speaking. I actually
That's
finally
not
listened to
fair. You
their
listen to their entire discography.
yeah, I finally listened to all of their records this past week, and yeah, can definitively say at this point, I am not a fan of their music in general.
That's you can't say that. You went to a concert.
Hey, I've been to a lot of concerts with bands that I don't care for, let me tell you, especially at this point. But yeah, but that being said, though, like I get it now. Like I after listening to all of it and now going to the show, I get why people connect with them because that's their whole DNA. Like even from the beginning with Hybrid Theory, like their entire thing is we're gonna write songs about what it feels like to feel like alone and angry and unsure of yourself and mad at the world, which is a very universal feeling. It's a very universal feeling, and they've never stopped writing from that zone, even as their scope has gotten bigger in the last few records, like where they're talking more about the world and more about community. Even then, they're writing such from a genuine emotional place that I understand why an entire arena wants to sing these words along with them because it's a unifying moment when everybody's talking at the same time about the same feeling that they've all felt. So I get it. I 100% get it. And I'm able to kind of map the piece, the musical inspiration along the way too. Like there's all sorts of inspiration points you can gather for their music. You can be like, oh yeah, the Rage Against the Machine meets like the meets grunge meets a lot of electronic inspiration later. You hear a little bit of Daft Punk in there. You hear a little bit of Nine Inch Nails. Like they're inspired by so many different things, and they ultimately created something that sounds just like them. And I'm really interested to see where they take that next.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the flow of the show, especially coming out and starting with Somewhere I Belong
Mhm.
and like setting the tone of like you said, like all these people like have these like thoughts and like feelings of loneliness of not feeling like you're part of society. It's like feeling
Mhm.
like you're one of like hundreds.
Yeah.
But then you put everyone all in the same room and they're all singing the same song. All of a sudden, you don't feel
Yeah.
so alone anymore. You
Yeah.
like you're part of the community, and
And
that's
even
what
their
like
new
Linkin
and
Park
even their
has.
new song is about this. Even their new
Yeah,
song is very much about like I don't want to be
the
part of
emptiness
this
machine.
machine that is bringing me down. I want to be part of the good part. I want to get out of that so that way I feel the community and the positive part of it, not the yeah, not the oppressive
Yeah,
thing that's trying to destroy us. Yeah, it was a very moving experience, and I get why people really like this band. And it was a cool moment to be part of, seeing them kind of regroup from the ashes and from a devastating situation and somehow keep going. And it's because the music is the thing that keeps them together and keeps them going. It's very exciting.
it is. Now, two negative things I want to take away
Yeah.
from this though.
Okay.
One, they didn't play One More Light. Should have
Okay.
played One More Light. I wanted them to play One More Light. Two, because they played a lot of the old songs, especially off of Paper Cuts, or well, one, the remaster of Paper Cuts, but also from Hybrid Theory. I kind of like halfway through got the feeling that since they were playing a lot of the older stuff, that Shinoda really, really loves his old stuff. He
Yeah.
really, really loves what he originally did. Is this on purpose, or just because he really, really wants to perform his old stuff and not necessarily the new kind of like shiny record produced stuff?
I mean, I think this is a question that you're probably never going to get an answer because
Yeah,
I think there's a version of the band that you saw that was a little bit of give and take between, because yeah, Mike and Chester are kind of set up to be these like similar but very different kind of figures throughout the discography, is what I noticed. And they do play off of each other. And when you take one of those people out of that equation, you might find yourself like leaning a little heavier towards the mic stuff. And I think that that's probably what you're seeing here.
yeah.
That's just naturally going to happen. But what I
Fills the
think is
void.
going to happen, and if this new song is any indication, I think there's a potential then that the needle can go a little more to the middle once Emily starts putting her influence in. Because I'm already hearing a lot more of a pop influence in this new song than I have before. I'm not familiar with her band, Dead Sarah, but from what I understand is it doesn't have like exactly a new metal background. And so I think that it's that maybe that's going to restore the balance a little more and maybe bring some other influences, bring some other sounds to their whole sound. This is why I'm really fascinated with what this record is going to sound like as a whole.
Mhm. Well, we'll find out that
Yeah.
in November.
Yeah.
All right. But we had an album that came out this past weekend
Yes, we
we're going to
did.
talk about. It was sent to us in the mail. Talk about Postcards from Texas by Miranda Lambert.
Yeah, so you listened to this.
Yes, we've covered
Okay.
Miranda Lambert a couple times on this podcast, especially
Yeah.
the past three albums that she put out: Wild Card,
Yeah.
Palomino, and the mixtapes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
That
was it the desert tapes?
something like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, and I have one sentence to say about this record, which is I don't think Miranda Lambert is capable of putting out a bad record anymore. Because I'm going to say the same thing I've said the last three times, which is this is probably the best country record of the year. She is invincible at this point. She can't stop. This is even after she left her original label, signed with a new label, and it's like there's no stop in her vocabulary. She doesn't believe in like having a lapse of quality. No, she went right back to the studio and put out 14 more great songs. And I just don't know if she has a bad record in her anymore. I just don't know if she's capable of it.
I don't know. I've said this before, but the back half of this catalog of this album is probably better than the first half of this album.
And the
There's a
first
lot of
half
good stuff in
is
here.
really
It was
good,
really
is the
good.
thing.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I really enjoy this thing. I don't know if I like it more than last year's Palomino. I would have to re-listen to Palomino to remind myself whether it's better or not. But it's definitely got some highlights. I mean, the chorus alone, in like there's three choruses that are just like stellar. I think my favorite being January Heart is
Mhm.
just incredible. incredible songwriting. And then it just keeps going from there. Like it just doesn't relent.
I love the wordplay in Alimony.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's a really, really good one. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and then Wildfire just
Yeah. Wildfire's great.
sucks you in. Yeah.
Yeah. She just has a real knack for melding the classic country song with the contemporary country song that never sounds obvious. It flows between those two kinds of sounds without feeling like it does. You're never thinking like, oh, that's weird during a transition. It's just very natural. It's just very, very elegant.
I don't know. The first song, Armadillo, I did feel that though. Really weird song to start this album.
I love that this is the opening track because it is
Really?
such a
It's such an off the
yeah,
wall song though.
I love that about it because to me it's like her saying like, all right, here's what this thing is going to be. If you're on board with this song, you're going to love the rest of this. If you're not on board, well, maybe this isn't for you. It's a real tone setter.
Well, I guess mileage may vary, but listen to that first song. If you're digging it,
Yeah.
keep going. The album gets a lot better from there.
I don't know. I enjoy it. But
Uh,
yeah, it's good stuff. It's yeah, just another solid Miranda Lambert record. Just in a Her discography is just incredible at this point. I don't know if any country artist has like a stronger run in the last 10 years.
of
I
albums,
can't
hits
yeah,
after hits.
I can't think of anybody. I mean, if you even go back 15 years, I think you can make an argument that she's just I don't think she's put out a bad record. I
I
would
don't
have
think
to
you want to
double
go
check.
back 15 years because that's when you get to Bro Country.
Yeah, but she was
She was
making
still
stuff
there though.
during
Yeah.
that was not being sucked into that wormhole. Like she avoided it completely. And like she just
Yeah,
kept
she let Luke
making
Bryan,
this
not Luke Bryan, get sucked into it. Blake Shelton get sucked
Blake
into it.
Shelton. Yeah. And that's about the time that they broke up.
Yep.
Goes to show you. But yeah, just quality stuff. One of the best country records of the year. We don't have to tell you to go listen to it. Go listen to it.
Yeah, it's Miranda. You're gonna listen
Yeah,
to it.
you're gonna like it.
All right. Did you listen to anything else?
Not really. I'll be really brief. I list about a couple of things, or maybe just one. I don't know. I have a bad I have a hard time remembering what exactly was new this week. Um, oh, the Suki Waterhouse record came out. Memoirs of a Sparkle Muffin. It's fine. It's aggressively fine. She just got done touring with Taylor Swift in the UK. And she showed up at the VMAs. She's also married to Robert Pattinson. Fun fact. But yeah, if you haven't heard of her, she's a British model slash actress slash singer, and her new record it's very not country, very 60s influenced. And it's fine. I just didn't like it as much as I was hoping to.
Suki Waterhouse.
Yep. Anyway,
All right. Anyways, let's get into some video games, and we start with new releases,
yes.
including Frostpunk 2 for the PC, The Karate Kid, Street Rumble for everything, wide release. You got it, you can play it. Broken Sword dash Shadow of the Templars, Reforged for the PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, and the Switch, as the name implies. Remake, re-release,
Yeah.
reforged, remaster, because like the next one, Dead Rising Deluxe remaster for the PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. UFO 50 for the PC. If you played the previous 49, you may be lost.
No.
We also have Final Fantasy 16 for the PC,
Yeah.
so you can get your modding on. We also have God of War Ragnarok for the PC. Get your modding on. Get your God of War 2018 mods into God of War Ragnarok. And lastly, the game everyone should probably be playing, The Plucky Squire for a PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, and the Switch.
Yeah, that's a neat one. Like a storybook kind of come to life. It's got
Yeah,
like
a
a
2D to 2.5 to 3D.
yeah. The artist behind it is James Turner, who has done a lot of Pokemon art in the past. He designed Pokemon like Vanillish. Um, but yeah, this is his first video game co-created with another creator and team. It seems like it's getting really good buzz today. It's out today. Also wanted to shout out UFO 50. UFO 50 is a game that is actually 50 different games, kind of like old school kind of NES style games. And it tells it invented an entire game company that has made these games. And it doubles as kind of a fictional account of the studio's history. So you're playing through this fake studio's history while you're playing their actual games, and that they vary in length and complexity. So there could be like some really simple ones and then
I,
some really in-depth like RPGs in there too.
I smell lore, buried lore in this
Yes.
thing.
It's a really cool idea and I really am interested in playing it.
All right, so a couple of recommendations for new
Yeah.
releases. Well, let's get into some video game news, and there was so much news that there's gamey bits too.
Yeah, some weird ones this week.
Yep, including Sony. They have officially contracted AMD to make part of the PlayStation 6, according to report and claims. Sorry, NVIDIA. Sorry, Intel.
Yeah. This is a weird one, especially hot off the tail of them just confirming the
The
existence
Pro.
of the PS5 Pro. But yeah, Sony's always looking at stuff for the next generation of consoles. Every company is. If they say they're not, they're lying to you.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, it makes sense that this would be about the time that they would start making contract deals with chip manufacturers such as AMD. I don't know if this would be the first time they've worked with AMD. I don't believe they've worked with NVIDIA directly either before. I could be wrong. I think Microsoft has worked with NVIDIA in the past.
Correct.
But yeah, so it's interesting for them to lock down a manufacturer, but you have to start early with this stuff because you have to start showing developers as soon as possible what you're thinking about for next generation technology so they can start ideating their games. So it makes sense that we would be talking this early. But damn, does it just seem bad timing when we're trying to sell the Pro to people? They don't want people thinking about the PlayStation 6. It doesn't exist yet.
I mean, it's at least what 2 years out then if they're just making a contract now, maybe
I would
three.
hope at least or longer, especially if they're selling the Pro for $700. Like,
Yeah.
give us some time.
So 2027
Whew. I don't want to
release
think about
date?
2027 at this point.
Yeah, someone has to. Uh all right. Well, let's talk about 2025. Because the original Flappy Bird creator, yes, talking about
Wait.
Flappy Bird in 2024,
Yeah.
the original creator has denounced a crypto back re-release of the game, which is set to debut in 2025.
So, I don't know if you've seen any of this, but yes,
Nope.
Flappy Bird, after almost 10 years of absence, has come back. Sort of. Big asterisk here. I guess some company had been trying to get the trademark to the Flappy Bird name for years at this point, and they finally succeeded and have made a big splash on social media this week saying that they are relaunching the game on mobile by next year. It will remain free to play, but, and here's the problem, it seems to be backed by a bunch of crypto companies and is slated to involve loot boxes and other kinds of modern video game accoutrement to differentiate itself from the original release of Flappy Bird. If you recall, Flappy Bird, the original, was very simple. It was just Flappy Bird. You just tapped and the bird moved. There was
Yeah, it goes up and
no
down, goes up and
there was
down.
no store, there was no reward, there was no like the points were like just how many times, how many pipes you avoided.
Pipes you get
It was a
by.
very simple game. This is not that. So, some game journalists have been trying to figure out to what extent they had involvement with the original creator. The answer is apparently zero. After a long Twitter absence, the original creator of Flappy Bird returned to say, as the story says, that he has nothing to do with it. And he also does not agree with crypto. And so Extra does not like their approach here. It just seems really slimy and kind of gross because Flappy Bird was an interesting game when it came out. I have a weird, unique relationship with Flappy Bird, but that's a story for another time. But this kind of just seems like it shits on the legacy, especially having to completely like go around the original creator and his wishes to have the game delisted when he did. It just, I don't know. It just seems really gross, especially with the crypto stuff. And yeah, not a fan of something that is tricking people into nostalgia. And remember when you like this thing when it's actually hiding something nefarious.
Isn't that what the plot of Angry Birds 2, the movie is?
Is it? I've never seen the second one.
Oh, good. You avoided it.
I avoided it completely. It's disappointing.
But yeah, I mean, trying to revive a game 10 years later for
Mm-hmm.
10-year nostalgia. I don't think that you're working on that correctly.
Well,
You gotta
also,
wait at
yeah.
least 30 years to reboot it.
It's not the rebooting is not the problem. It's the fact that they're doing it in such a creepy, underhanded way is the problem. And it's just sad.
Speaking of creepy and underhanded ways, Microsoft have decided to cut yet another 650 members of its staff from the gaming teams after,
Yes.
paying billions of dollars to
Yeah.
acquire two separate companies.
Yeah, it seems like this was just more redundancy post the Activision deal that they're trying to work through. I don't even like to say the word redundancy because I get it from a paper point, like a paper pushing point of view, but they're still people. And so it still feels gross. But this brings the grand total of people laid off from Microsoft's gaming studios to over the 1,000 mark now, which is just depressing to see and just continues to be depressing news.
Yeah, no. Like, oh, I mean, part of it's like, oh no, but all of it's like, oh, who could have seen
Right.
this
We all knew
coming?
this was going to happen.
Yeah. Something we did see coming though
Yeah.
is our final video game news story. Annapurna Interactive. Um, no longer exists, probably, maybe?
Yeah,
Question mark?
functionally.
Yeah. So last week we talked about Annapurna striking a deal uh with Remedy to help create a couple of games for other mediums like TVs and movies. Well, Annapurna Interactive, the video game portion of Annapurna, was in the midst of trying to get their own, basically become their own company separate from Annapurna. They put a deal out there. They were expected to sign it. And then at the last second, they didn't.
Mm.
They, Annapurna Company, rejected the offer of Annapurna Interactive, saying, we don't want you to split off from us. So the entire workforce under Annapurna Interactive basically said, well, if you're not going to sign this deal, we're not going to work for Annapurna Interactive. And everybody, I'll say it again, everybody resigned from Annapurna Interactive.
Yeah, it turns out if you don't have people working there, you can't exactly have a product at the end of the day. Yeah, it's interesting that this happens kind of in the in the shadow of that deal that they did with Remedy. Obviously, I don't want to think that that was like the straw that broke the camel's back or anything. I'm sure that people there were excited to work on Remedy products because if anybody likes Remedy, it's fellow video game developers. But I imagine that this was just a long road, a long time coming for these people, and that they were just upset that this deal didn't go through, and that their livelihoods were at question, and that they couldn't get the deal that they wanted to make video games the way they wanted to. I understand why you would then pull the collective action lever and just say, nah, we out, guys. It's a really brave move. It's a really striking move, and it's really impressive to see, and it shows it works. Other studios take note. Like this stuff works. Like if you can make a real statement if you just unite and make collective action like this. It
Uh,
is, yeah, it does bring into question the future of that deal and the future of Annapurna back to game development because are they going to try to get him back? Are they going to try to hire new people? Like, are they going to try to revive a brand, or is this it?
I don't know. I didn't see anything about them forming a new company or a new game
No,
studio from it.
doesn't seem like it. No,
Yeah.
no current plans at least. But
At
yeah,
least nothing
I
within the past week.
no, but it's definitely a weird situation that I think is unprecedented. And yeah, we'll have to see how this affects deals going forward.
Yeah. I mean, do you have any other video game news?
I think that's mostly it this week.
I think so too. Played more Astrobot, played
Yep,
more
play more
Madden.
Astrobot. That's pretty much it.
Have you platinum yet?
No, no, I haven't even finished the game proper yet.
Oh, okay. I
I'll let
caught
you know
up
when I see
though.
credits.
I caught up though, I think. I'm at
Nice.
World 4 now.
Okay, yeah, you're where I'm at. I'm probably gonna play tonight. I've actually been taking a break for a few days.
Okay. Yeah, in World 4 I gotta defeat the boss now.
Nice.
And then head to World 5.
Yep.
Or Galaxy 5 or whatever.
Whatever they are.
Yep. All right. Well then, let's get into television. We start with the sports section.
Yes.
Sports quarter. And we got some big headline news this upcoming weekend with
Yeah.
the WNBA playoffs set to tip off on Sunday,
Cool.
and the first four drivers in the NASCAR playoffs will get cut at the end of this upcoming race.
Oh boy.
Don't worry, our driver Austin Cindric is squarely saved away.
Oh,
He's
Cyndaquil.
he's yes, the Cindric will. He's off to the next round, so we're safe there. But your other drivers may be on the bubble. And then WNBA playoffs. So other news in WNBA, because I forgot to put this. Caitlin Clark continues to set rookie record after rookie record, as she now has the rookie record for most points by a rookie in a regular season game.
Nice.
In addition to the most assists in a season, most assists in a game, most points in a game, most points in a season by a rookie. Just like she's like really, really stupidly good
Yeah.
and like getting the records to show it. All
Basically
she needs now
any,
is that
yeah.
national championship. Oh wait, she couldn't get that. All she needs now is a W and is a gold medal. Oh wait, she couldn't get that. I mean, now all she needs is the WNBA championship, which she might get, possibly. But yeah, she's good. She's a good reason just to watch alone. But
Turns
yeah,
out.
WNBA playoffs this upcoming Sunday. In other league news, the NFL week 2 happened, and there's a good chance that your fantasy team may be devastated with injuries already.
Yeah. What happened this week? Because I looked at the pick'em and I was like, this was like a massacre.
Yeah.
How many upsets in one week can you
Upsets
have?
galore.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks are taken out and injured. Bryce Young, number one pick, got benched this week. They're going to start Andy Dalton now. Yes, Andy Aguilera himself. Super inside joke for any
Yeah.
one of you out there. Uh, your top running backs got injured. TMC is going on the IR. The Rams receiving room is completely devastated as both Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua are slated to go on the IR.
Oof.
Um, yeah, just your fantasy team, if you like drafted like safely, you're okay. But if you took big swings, you're probably suffering for it now. Uh, check your lineups, waiver wire like hell. Um, Also, apparently, Tyler Snoop Huntley, real name, will become the new starting quarterback of the Miami Dolphins real soon.
A good name.
Former UCLA quarterback. So, that may be fun to see. But yeah, this is a weird year for the NFL. We've had weird years in the past. This one keeps getting weirder. Um, yeah, but that's okay because baseball is pretty much over for most people. There's about 2 weeks left in the regular
For most
season.
people.
I mean, yeah, there's 6 teams that are officially eliminated mathematically from the
Yeah.
playoffs.
Don't remind me.
Oh, I'll remind you. You saw my text.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, the devastating news just keeps getting
Uh,
more devastating.
yeah, what are you gonna do? I'm looking forward to the playoffs, is what I'll say. Watching other teams, better
Watching
teams
other,
play.
yes,
Yeah.
baseball is right around
Yeah.
the corner in October.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far 2 weeks left. No one has officially clinched a playoff spot. I thought we might see one this week, this past week.
Maybe.
I guess they're so close to call that we got to continue on. Um, NHL puck drops October 8th. NBA tip off October 22nd. And NCAA football continues. And Florida State continues to get embarrassed as they suffered their third loss. A formerly top 5 ranked team going into the season has suffered 3 losses in 4 weeks. And just has everyone wondering, what were you thinking ranking them so high? Just embarrassment after embarrassment. But hey,
Sure.
Boston College is amazing. Did you see that Boston
Okay.
College game?
No, obviously I
Oh,
did not.
you should have. It's great. But enough about this year. I'm looking forward to next year with the revival of the Pac-12. Well, Pac-6, maybe, as 6 teams have been accepted or declared and accepted by the Pac-12 for next year, including Boise, Colorado State, Fresno, Oregon State, San Diego State, and Washington State. I like this group. I think it's gonna be a fun Pac-12 after dark action going on here. And if anything, that means the winner of this conference gets the automatic bowl bid. And that's always fun to see.
Yeah. Will
All
be.
right. That's all I got for sports. You got anything for sports?
No. I mean, that pretty much sums it up. We're kind of just in that weird waiting period where some sports haven't started and some sports are wrapping up.
Yep. Well, then let's get into one of our favorite sports, award shows, award
Yes,
season.
it's like sports for the media obsessed. Award season. And we had yet another awards ceremony, the second in the same year for the Emmys.
Thank you,
Yes.
Strikes.
Yes, thanks to the strikes we had in Emmys in January of this year. Well, now we're already having another one that this time to honor this past year in television. And for the most part, they went as planned. But there were a couple of huge surprises that nobody saw coming. But we'll get to that in a moment. First up, Shogun, Baby Reindeer, and Hacks were your big winners of the night. Shogun garnering 18 trophies this week, combined with the Creative Arts Emmys that we talked about last week, marking its first season as the most Emmy wins of any show in Emmy Award history. The FX series crushed the previous record of 13 wins by the 2008 miniseries John Adams from HBO. The Bear, meanwhile, broke its own record of 10 comedy wins for a single season, which it achieved last year, aka this year in January, with 11 trophies this ceremony, but it could not claim the big award as it lost Best Comedy Series in a surprise upset from HBO's Hacks.
You mean an actual comedy series?
Yeah, turns out.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a running joke of the night, especially in the
Yeah.
opening monologue by the Levies, that the bear doesn't really have jokes. Should it be considered a comedy? And I guess the Emmy voting block kind of agreed and gave the best comedy award to an actual comedic show.
Yeah.
Uh, let's finish this, and then we'll talk about how I feel about this.
Yeah. We'll get there. But just to wrap up in the limited category, your big winner was viral hit from Netflix, Baby Reindeer, which won Outstanding Limited Series or Anthology, with creator Richard Gadd taking home trophies for lead actor and writing. So yes, between Shogun, Baby Reindeer, and Hacks, it was a surprising night. Well, it was a mostly like predictable night with a couple of big surprises, and it seems to be just mostly Baby Reindeer caped showing up when you least expected it.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Uh,
you're making a face here. You're not a fan of Baby Reindeer and its whole gimmick.
okay, so the gimmick is that Richard Gadd, the
Mhm.
creator and star of the show,
Right.
wrote this based off an actual experience he had with uh, patron at the bar that he worked at. Meaning that he's not really playing a character, he's just playing himself. And I have an issue with people winning awards for playing themselves because that's not acting. Also, you're writing
Mm.
from experience, so it should be more of a documentary style rather than a uh limited series. Like I get why it's in this category, but because you're playing yourself, you don't even like change your fictionalized name. You're playing yourself, written by yourself in the first person about an experience you specifically had.
I mean, let's be fair. This is not the first time that a show has done this, whether it be a television series, a limited series, or a movie. So this is not a new thing. It's just maybe it's this particular one just rubbed you the wrong way.
I think this particular subject matter
Yeah.
rubbing the wrong way because he's winning awards for something essentially terrible that not only happened to him, but continues to happen to the other person associated with this, who wasn't at the award
Yeah.
show, who isn't getting the accolades, who is basically being cyberbullied on this for something that happened years ago because it's being put out there in this very public space. And the internet going to internet and find this person and collectively bully them
Yeah.
for something that taken care of in the past, and then all of a sudden rearing its ugly head right now and brought to light because of the newness of it by most people.
It's really messy and everything. It's been a very messy, controversial show ever since it launched on Netflix. And yeah, to see it get lauded with awards is equally messy because you do have that kind of like question about like, does this really warrant being awarded? But really, that's not up to us. We're not Emmy voters. We're not Academy members as much as we'd love to be someday. But for now, all we can really do is react. So, what do you think about the hack surprise at the end of the night?
Rigged, like I said. As if like the Emmys had it out for like, okay, we'll give you the individual awards. Jeremy Allen White, you'll get your individual award.
Yeah.
Uh, they'll get you the both supporting awards.
Iban
Jean Smart,
Iban Mosbackrack will win again because he should.
yes. Uh, Cologne would win the award, even though she's got even more bigger role in season three instead of season two.
Yeah, about that real quick. I saw somebody on Twitter say that for the second Emmys in a row, it seems like the Academy didn't know what season of The Bear they were voting for, and I
Yeah,
thought that was pretty funny.
I think so too.
And you got
Uh,
your director, you got the
yeah,
directing
sure.
award
Yeah,
rightfully
it's
for
all the below
Fishes, the
lines. Yeah.
episode that should have won. So it makes some of the awards that the Bear won
Mhm.
make sense. But yeah, I think the question then about the comedy category is what were they awarding? Were they awarding the best television show that happened to be in that category? Or were they so laser focused on that word comedy this
Comedy.
year that maybe everybody agreed somehow in between last year and this year that The Bear wasn't a comedy enough to win?
I think it's mostly that it won last year because of it just happened to be in that category. It was placed in that category, and everyone loved the show. And then everyone saw all the backlash for it. Like, is this a comedy? And learned from the mistakes. Like you said, within the same year, so it's still fresh. They didn't have a whole 12 months to
Right.
think about it. They had 6.
So now the question is, season 3, we've seen it. It is
Yes,
even somehow less of a comedy than season 2 was.
yes.
It has a lot of experimental choices and a lot of interesting things going on and a lot of drama. Do they do this again? Is it forever in the comedy purgatory? Or does FX take the risk, compete against themselves potentially by putting it in the drama category?
Well, I don't think FX wants to do that. Well, it
No,
depends how
they
fast they can
don't.
get season 2 for Shogun.
Yes,
So
there's a
they might move it
reason.
over.
This is the thing, is I think that the reason why it's there is because FX wants it's there. Disney wants it there because if it's in drama, it gets eaten alive. And they know it does by their own show. If it was up against Shogun this year, the bear wins nothing.
Also, if it's in drama, you get the runtime argument of, well, they're
Yes.
only putting out 30 minutes, 35 minutes,
It
compared to
depends on
these
the
dramas who
episode.
have to put up for an hour per
Yeah, but
episode.
it depends on the episode. There are episodes of the
Yeah,
bear that are hour plus, 45 minutes.
Fish's if
Fishes
example
is one of
is
them.
like a
It's hour and a half,
65
right?
minute, yeah, hour and a half,
Yeah,
80
something
minute
like that.
episode.
Yeah, so it's like it's just I get why they're doing it, but yes, this is the risk you take is the possibility of the Academy being like, "Well, I'm going to vote for the comedy," and that's what they did this time. Now, I could be wrong. I didn't see Hacks season 3. Was it that much better than seasons 2 and 1?
I thought they were voting on season 2. And season 3 is next
Oh,
year.
I assumed this was 3.
That's the bear. You just ran into the bear problem. What season are
Uh-oh.
you voting on? You
I
just
honestly
bared yourself.
well, I'll answer that question. I don't know which season they voted for Hacks. That's a good question.
Because I like
I don't
season
know.
2 more than I like season 3
Okay.
for hacks.
Well, it doesn't matter. It took home the award. Now we just have to wait till next year to see if they course correct or if they just keep going the way that they've gone.
We gotta wait a whole 12 months now.
Yes, we'll see.
But yeah, congratulations to the Emmy winners.
Yeah.
Congratulations to the surprises, and congratulations to John Oliver's dead dog for being played off like Sarah McLachlan.
Oh no. That was ridiculous. Um, did we watch anything this week
Emmys.
besides the VMAs and the
Oh,
Emmys?
VMAs. No,
Yeah,
no,
I
I
have
don't think so.
one though that I don't know if you're aware about.
Oh, I have
We,
one, too.
we didn't know that this was happening until literally we saw it. Guess what's back? It's the
The
circle time,
Circle.
baby.
Yes, Sex Season Circle. I saw that
Yep.
when I was watching Outlast, also back on Netflix, season 2.
There you go.
A couple episodes into that, but the circle's back. So, uh, brand new
Yeah.
competition, brand new people, brand new catfishes.
Already big fan of this season. It's hilarious so far. They have brought together such a group. I just insane people in the same season. It's just amazing to watch. So yeah, we're very excited to keep going. We've only watched the first 2. So yeah, we're gonna dive
Well, I
into
think I
the
only
next
did
2
4
tomorrow.
this week, and then 4 next
Yeah.
week, and then 2 in the finale.
So yeah. Um, we'll
Yep.
report
But yeah,
back.
the fall version of the circle.
Yeah, we got 2 seasons this year.
Yep.
All right. Anyway, let's move on then, if that's all we want to talk about with television. And
Yep.
let's talk about some cancellations and renewals.
What am I no longer watching?
You're no longer watching The Winter King, as it's been canceled after 1 season on MGM Plus. You're also no longer watching Beacon 23, as that's been canceled after season 2 on MGM Plus.
And you're no longer watching MGM Plus because that has been canceled.
Yeah,
I
all
can
this
only
stuff's gonna be
assume.
no, it's I mean that stuff all eventually shows up on Amazon Prime, so just wait.
Yeah, because they
Couple
own it
to
now.
yeah, they do. They've been owning it. Couple to thruple on Peacock has been canceled after 1 season.
I guess that's all we get.
That's all you get. All the couples to thruples that you can handle. And then lastly, Time Bandits, the Apple TV series based on the film, has been canceled after one season.
I'm sorry, Lisa Kudrow. You got to go
Sorry.
back and do something else.
Sorry, Lisa Kudrow. All right, let's talk about renewals next. Netflix has renewed several of their shows, including Full Swing, renewed for a third season.
Yep.
There you go. We also have Untold getting renewed for a fifth season.
That's the different sports documentaries
Yeah.
or deep dives.
Yep. Next is Dinner Time Live with David Chang, renewed for a second season.
That's good to see.
And lastly, her visa will never expire. Emily remains in Paris for a
Oh,
fifth season.
why? They just did season 4,
Yeah.
part 2, and then they renewed for season 5.
Emily just lives in Paris now. She's just a citizen. She's a French
I guess.
citizen. She just lives there now.
I mean, that's what happens when the Olympics come to town.
Yeah. All right. That's it for television. Let's move on into movies. And we always start the movie section with the weekend box office numbers. Your number one movie this week is still Beetlejuice with another $51 million. That's at 187. Number two, yeah, it's doing pretty well, I'd say, for what it is. Number two, Speak No Evil with a $11 million debut. So those spooky movies are starting to leak out.
Or are they? Because you can't talk about them.
Maybe not. Speak No Evil. Number three, Am I Racist? Well, the answer is yes, because it debuted to $4.5 million. Also, if you have to ask that question, the answer is always yes. Number four,
Especially if you're Matt Walsh asking that question.
Yeah, especially. Number four, Deadpool and Wolverine continues to chill out in the top five. $3.8 million this week. That's at $620 million domestic. That is your number two movie of the year after Inside Out 2. Is
Inside
that
Out
correct?
2.
Is correct?
Yep, Disney's got 1 and 2.
And rounding out your top five is Reagan with another $2.9 million. That's at 23. In case you're wondering about the other debuts this week, The Killer's Game debuted at number 6 with only $2.6 million. And way down at number 10, not enough churches went to see this, apparently, church groups. God's Not Dead, In God We Trust only made $1.4 million.
Do we kill the franchise now?
I don't know. God's not dead, so you can't.
I guess not.
It's not. Upcoming this week, something for everybody here. We have Never Let Go, which is
Love story drama.
Okay.
You're wrong. You're wrong. Romantic love interest movie.
Oh, okay. We have Wolf.
This is Apple. This probably go to Apple TV Plus, but it's also getting a theatrical release. This is Brad Pitt and George Clooney.
Oh, I think this movie is called Wolves.
Is it Wolves?
With an S. Yes. We saw the trailer for this. Yes. Brad Pitt and George Clooney are fixers, and they have to team up for a project.
They somehow get called to the same job.
Right. Yeah.
And have to work together now.
Honestly, the trailer is kind of funny. Christy said she might be on board for that one. But yes, it's called Wolves. Plural, because there's two of them.
Multiple of them. Yes.
Yeah, there's two of them. And then lastly, Transformers 1, a prequel in the Transformer Bayverse. Not directed by Michael Bay.
Not directed by Michael Bay, but it is a fully CG movie.
Yeah.
And it's hard to kind of animate it. It's probably animated because I also see it like getting live action at the very end. So this is Transformers 1. They are all on Cybertron fighting for the Allspark original. Like basically it's a new like origin story.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't remember this was happening until I saw a billboard when we were leaving LA after the concert. I was like, oh yeah, Transformers 1.
Yep.
Forgot about that. Anyway, those are your new
which
releases.
Means that when we talk about Transformers, it's a Transformers 2007 and not Transformers 1.
Well, there you go. All right. Let's go into movie news, and it wouldn't be a year in Media Boat Podcast if we didn't at least talk about MoviePass one time.
Probably the last time, too.
Probably the last time. Former MoviePass CEO Mitch Lowe was in the news again this week, but not for good reasons. He pleaded guilty Monday to a securities fraud charge admitting that he conspired to deceive the public and investors about the sustainability of the company's $9.95 a month movie subscription service. Lowe, age 72, faces a maximum of 5 years in federal prison. Ted Farnsworth, the former CEO of parent company Helios and Matheson, is scheduled to face a trial on the same charges next March. Farnsworth, 62, has been in federal custody since August 2023, when his bond was revoked after he allegedly used company funds to pay for a sex worker. Well done.
Hmm.
Investigators found that Lowe tried to stem the losses by throttling the service, forcing high volume users to reset their passwords and verify their tickets. Did this happen to you?
No, because I used it way too much.
Well, so you're even high volume, more the high volume than the high volume
Oh
user.
yeah. Just
Um,
auto logs in every time.
there you go. Which the government estimates total losses from the scheme at $303 million, though Lowe, of course, contends it is less than that.
Of course he
So
would.
not only is MoviePass as a thing dead and buried in the ground, but now they're trying to bury the legacy of it by basically painting these guys to be complete scam artists.
Like basically just painting the whole like subscription of third party movie subscription as like just don't do it. Just like saying them as the example.
Don't do it.
Whereas if
Yeah.
you want a subscription for a movie theater, you gotta go to the direct company themselves because AMC is currently doing that, Regal is currently doing that,
Yeah.
Cinemark is currently doing that. That what they
I
do
mean, if anything,
is
we're
kind of changed
yeah.
the market. Yeah, it
And
allowed like there's
that's
people out
what
there
I
who
was gonna
want this.
say. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If anything, the legacy of MoviePass will be to force the hands of the movie theater companies for introducing their own version of this.
Yeah. I
That's the
mean, we'll see how
legacy.
long those versions stay around.
Yeah, see if they're actually successful for those companies or if they're just if they're just big losses. Like we don't know. They
Mhm.
don't probably release those numbers. So,
Uh, yeah, but I mean, I guess that's the one good thing that came out of Movie Pass is that
yeah.
if you are a movie lover and you
Mhm.
have your local
Mhm.
cinema, you could get an unlimited pass from your local cinema.
And the other thing that'll leave behind is that you had one amazing year of Movie Pass that you can always look back. You can
Yes,
look back on
52
fondly and
movies
be
in a
like,
year.
"Hey, remember when I saw a movie every week? Yeah, that was pretty cool."
Yeah, I don't think
So
I can ever do that again for like the
they can't.
next 20 years.
Yeah, and they can't take that
And
away
even
from
then,
you.
I don't know if I could take doing that for a year.
No, not anymore. Your responsibilities have changed. Anyway,
I mean, I'll still probably pay like ticket wise, it'll still come out too about 52 tickets a year. Just not all for
yeah,
me.
yeah, exactly. So yes,
I mean,
RIP
all
Movie
for my wallet,
Pass.
yes, but
Yeah, but yes, RIP Movie Pass, and these guys need to clean up their acts. All right,
yeah,
that'll do it for movie news.
we're done.
And I guess that'll do it for the podcast. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today for the Media Boat podcast. This was a short and sweet one. Shout out to Sabrina Carpenter. If you want to find our previous episodes, you can watch them in video form on our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and search Media Boat Podcast. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications when new videos go live. You can also find us in audio form on podcast services such as iHeartRadio and Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Just search Media Boat Podcast and you'll probably find us. And some other podcasts about boats, but don't listen to them. Listen to us. You don't care about boats, you care about media. Um, we are also all sorts of places on the internet. Mediaboatpodcast.com is our archive with all of our episodes as well as some old features that you can dig up and enjoy. You can also find us on social media platforms such as Twitter/X, where we're at MediaBoatCast, Blue Sky at MediaBoat. Just search MediaBoat and you'll find us. Twitch.tv/MediaBoat is where you can find Mike playing video games such as football and or Astrobot. I don't know what he's on right now. But
I'll keep flipping fall back and forth because like I'll watch
okay.
football, then I'll play football, and in the middle of the week when there's no football, I'll play Astrobot.
There, makes sense to me. And then yeah, and last but not least, if you want to ask us questions, give us feedback about the show, you can do that by emailing us at mediaboatpodcast@gmail.com. Ask us questions and we'll read them here on the show. And with that, that'll do it. this one's in the books. We'll be back
Yep.
next week for another episode, Big 454. We'll talk about all sorts of news. We'll talk about maybe some maybe we'll have an idea about the baseball playoff picture. Maybe we'll have some more, I don't know. I don't even know what's happening this week. But there'll be something to talk about. There always is.
WNBA, NASCAR
WNBA.
cuts,
Yep.
yeah, playoffs. We'll be back with more news, more thoughts, and more of us.
Yep. See you
Okay,
then.
bye.